To another episode of Deep True Crime. I'm Manny Rodriguez. In today's episode, I want to dive into the ex-NBA G League player who has first been arrested and then they found the victim. Let's go ahead and dive into what we know at this time. Don't go anywhere. Along with his girlfriend in the missing persons case. You see, the hunt for a missing medical assistant, it has now taken a dramatic twist with the arrest of the NBA G League star Chance Comanche on a charge of first-degree kidnapping. Now, at first, they didn't know where she was. You see, Marayna Rogers, 23 years old, she disappeared on December 6th while she was visiting Las Vegas from her home in Washington State. Now, as you can see here, this guy, he played in the G League under the Sacramento Kings, team in their G League, which is like the minor leagues of NBA, basically, for the most part. And so Marayna Rogers, 23 years old, she disappeared on December 6th, again, while she's visiting Las Vegas. Now, she's originally from Washington State. A lot of people go to Vegas to celebrate, enjoy, have fun. And so she was last seen getting into a car with her friend, Sakari Harnden, who is 19 years old. She was also arrested on a kidnapping charge on December 13th. 5 days ago from this video. Now, again, this is supposed to be her friend that she went into the car with. And so she too has been arrested on a kidnapping charge. Now, Harnden, at this time, at first she was just in jail, right? She had been charged with detaining Rogers against her will and without her consent for the purpose of killing her and or inflicting bodily harm. And so she's currently in jail as well. And so Comanche, Chance, he was seized by the FBI just this past Friday, and he was booked in the Sacramento County jail on the same charge. Again, this happened in Las Vegas. And so, of course, they were doing their research. They're doing their investigation. They're figuring out, okay, let's follow the tracks. And where did it lead? Well, it led to this guy and his girlfriend. And so this, he's part of the Stockton Kings, and he's a center who has made about 13 appearances, coming in and out of the games. And so he was in Portland, Oregon for the Kings game against Rip City Remix the day before Rogers disappeared. And so by December 12th, he was back in California playing in Stockton's home defeat to Salt Lake City. And so of course, they're like, why could this happen? Why was she with this NBA guy? And generally, you don't expect this to happen, right? But we also do know that sometimes, unfortunately, this happens, and we only wish it didn't. And so now we wait to find out, okay, what more will be coming of this? But here is the truth. Here is the truth on this. Marayna, she didn't deserve this. Right? So you can see this GoFundMe. They're doing everything they can to raise at least $10,000. So far, there have been 12 donations. This was created about 9 days ago. Now, again, some of these cases, for whatever reason, don't get a lot of highlights. But to look at this and see that only $303 was raised. I can think of so many GoFundMes where people just dive in, don't even know them, and all of a sudden they're just pouring in. What's different about this case? That would be my question. Do you have a thought on it? Let me know in the comments. But you can see the GoFundMe. It was shared by, Tremaine McAdams, who organized the fundraiser. And it says, on Tuesday night, Marayna Rogers left her close friends' presence in Las Vegas, getting in an Uber to go to Summerlin. She never made it to Summerlin and was discovered to be missing the following morning when neither her boyfriend or close friends had heard from her. So they started to worry about her. They did not know, where is our good friend Marayna Rogers? And so her location, it was being shared with several friends and family, and it last showed her at a separate location in Las Vegas at 2:59, and you can see December 6th, 2023. And so the last known location they share is worrisome because it is near the freeway heading towards both Reno and California. She left behind both her dogs, her car, and all belongings, making it very unlikely that she disappeared on her own. And so you can obviously look that up. But my friends, if you are capable of helping and you can help this family, they didn't deserve this. We don't know the whole story. More will continue to come out. But I can tell you this, she didn't deserve that. So if you can do anything in your power to help, please. And you can see, it says here, they were looking all over for her. They didn't know where she was. And so, but they knew her last place. And this at this time was a missing persons case. Okay. And so we continue to find out more. But then, of course, it was a shock when the two people were arrested in this case. But what we don't know is why. What led up to it? Was this planned out? Now, according to the GoFundMe, it was set up by a friend, and this was a goal. They set up this GoFundMe to pay for private investigators to help in the search, which so far it doesn't seem like they're going to need money. Maybe that's why they're not getting much, because we now have perps, right? And she says she was getting in an Uber to Summerlin in the west of the city. That's what I shared with you from the GoFundMe. And in this, you have to ask yourself, you literally have to ask yourself, what could bring someone to do this? But at the same time, people were tracking her. She literally was sharing her location with several friends, and it last showed her at a separate location in Las Vegas that morning on December 12th. And so they say that the last known location is worrisome because it is near the freeway. All right. Well, then we find out the breaking news about the arrest, basically about 24 hours later. And so now the NBA G League star, not only was he already in jail, but now he's been officially charged with murder after her body was discovered near Las Vegas just yesterday. Chance, again, at first he was arrested on a charge of first-degree kidnapping this past Friday by the FBI in Sacramento County. That's where he played for the Stockton Kings of the G League. And Marayna Rogers, she disappeared, almost 2 weeks ago now. But they knew that she was with someone. She got into a car with someone. They knew. They literally knew. But the question is, why did he do this? That is a part that we do not know, may not know. And so with it, at least they can start that second chapter of now the next phase. But why was she with her friend? Was this a setup? And so the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police, they announced Sunday afternoon that Comanche, I got some audio coming through. They found out that Comanche and Harnden, they shared, will now face murder charges after Rogers' remains were found in Henderson, Nevada. So at least they're able to take it that far. To me, I think that is very key. And so at least the family can start getting a little bit more justice. Rogers, she was a medical assistant. She had a whole life ahead of her. And she was just visiting the area, but she was originally from Washington State. And so Harnden, she was identified by police, and this is Harnden. She was identified by police as a friend of Rogers and the girlfriend of Comanche. She initially was taken into custody and booked into a Las Vegas jail on Wednesday, and she was charged with kidnapping, and she was also detained on $500,000 bail. And so based on information provided, after their arrest, detectives, they were able to recover the remains subsequently identified as Rogers. And so the Clark County coroner would identify. And so according to Las Vegas police, detectives, they were able to determine that Harnden and Comanche, the two of them were responsible for this heinous crime. And Las Vegas police said in a statement that early in the investigation, detectives, they suspected foul play, and they obtained evidence to arrest Harnden and her boyfriend, Chance Comanche, for their role in the kidnapping and the disappearance. And so it didn't take long. They literally have video footage, and this stuff will come out later. But they had video footage of all of them. And so they knew that something was not right. What they did not know is why. They have not shared a motive yet. We don't know. We do know that they have interviewed Sakari Harnden. They have interviewed him, but we don't know what's come out of that. We don't know what they're saying. And so at least they're able to get something. Now, Comanche, he did go to college. He played college basketball for Arizona. He played an NBA game. He even made his Portland Trail Blazers debut this year on April 9th. And he even scored some points in 21 minutes. That sounds like someone who had a future. He's a center. He had a whole life ahead of him. So again, there's two sides to every story. Why would he risk his future? Two sides to every story. Right now, we only know that she is not in this world, and they're saying he is alleged to have done it. And so Comanche, 6'10", he played in 13 games for Stockton this season, averaging 14 points a game and 7 rebounds. So this guy was a good player. But why would he do this? Again, we don't know anything. We don't know. We know that the family was very worried. She has a boyfriend, family, friends, 2 dogs, works as a surgical tech back home in Washington. They shared, why would she leave? She would not leave. And so they knew her roundabouts, but they could not go any further. She had no cash, no debit card at the time of her disappearance. So they were worried about her, and they knew that she was right next to the highway. But the bottom line is they do have someone in custody who is not, they don't have any bail. They're not going to be getting out anytime soon. So there will be more to this story. We will continue to keep you updated. I am Manny Rodriguez, and this has been another episode of Deep True Crime. Until next time, my friends, peace. Have a great one.